Hello and welcome to this sketching video. What I do in this video is that my girlfriend Amalie is asking me some questions about sketching and painting and stuff while I do some work on this sketch which I have now finished, and it's gonna start to dry so that I can continue with the next layers. I think the sketch came out pretty nice in a very loose impressionist way. I really love this kind of stuff because I actually really enjoy the brushwork, which is kind of spontaneous and stuff. Anyway, this is the photo I'm painting from. It is of my daughter when she was about 10 years old on a beach in Karmøy, Norway, where the Vikings used to live, and it was a very nice sunny day or evening. That is why it's so red and have this low sunlight, which also actually is quite difficult to paint. Now I don't finish the sketch in this, and there will of course be a full painting lesson or tutorial or process video on my channel when I'm done with this. This is just a shorter Q&A. So I hope you enjoy. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, tell me what you think. It's very important that you help me grow my channel. It takes time to make these videos, and if you want to support me, you can do that by going to PATRON or sign up for whatever tier you like. And you can also buy me a coffee if you just want to donate a little bit. So you find a link in the description and on my channel. With this, hope you enjoy. Tell me what you think. It's so important. And if you tell me maybe what you want to see. Okay. So here we are with Amalie. She's going to ask me some questions.
Yeah.
About sketching and landscape painting. So just bring it on.
Okay. How do you choose a specific scene or location for your landscapes?
That's a good question. This was chosen because it's from where I'm from, Karmøy in Norway, and it's the beach where people go and take a bath. So this location is basically chosen because it's there, and also it's good for business to paint motifs from places people know. So that might be, but also it's a very beautiful place actually, especially when it's sunny and stuff. So in Karmøy, Norway. Now I guess I choose from aesthetics. Sometimes I see landscape other people have taken also, and I think, oh shit, I wish I could have taken that because the beauty of it. I guess it's more about the locations, about the composition. So this one is of my daughter when she was 10, I think she was. I think she was 10 years old. So next, it's hard to say. It's from aesthetic reasons. Or I also painted some landscapes from war zones actually many years ago. And when I picked them, it's also from the aesthetics of them. So. And I actually sold some of them. I sold all of them actually. So I painted from the Iraq War, the first night of the second Iraq War. What was the second? When a bombs hit in Baghdad. And hang on somebody's wall right now. Yes. Mm-hmm.
What are some challenges you are encountering while painting landscapes?
Challenges. I guess it's the same challenges that I face. Actually, if it is only a landscape, it is less challenging because it's easier to get people to believe in a landscape. You only have to basically have a horizon line and some brushwork and boom, it's a landscape. It becomes way harder when you have a figure because then it has to be correct, it has to be stand correct, it has to be like you see here. So the challenge here is basically to get this one right and then work with the whole thing to differentiate the different foreground, background. You see the background here is very kind of in the background. And yeah, I don't know. So I guess the challenge is just basically the same. When you have a figure there, but it's less challenging when you don't. The most challenging thing is basically portraits of people. That's the most challenging bit, I think. Vad fel färg. So you have another one. I also paint from photo now, so maybe that should. It would be totally different to paint from if she was actually standing in the sea there, and I should paint her. That would be much more difficult on location. So that is an art in itself, and I've actually never really done that. So. But then it's like with everything, you start doing that and you get better, and then in the end it's not difficult anymore because you learn how to do it. The good thing about doing from photo is that the models are there all the time. The drawback is of course that you have less color spectre from a photo than a real landscape, but maybe that's also a good thing because you and it doesn't change. A landscape in reality will change all the time, so it's much more challenging that way. Still running. Still running. So yeah. Next one. You could follow up if you like.
Do you have any favorite landscape painters or artists?
Definitely Turner, I guess. Because of the way he is using the brushwork and the way he digs into the painting and painting over, tearing it down, building it up, tearing it down. And it's very time consuming. The story about Turner is when he went to cafe, it was always dirtied off by paint, and he had huge nails which he used to grapple into the paint with, and he was dirty, very dirty. And that is why he went probably into it manically. So if you look at the best Turner paintings, it's just amazing. It is like the best Rembrandt paintings. But it's small. And Rembrandt also was actually a very good landscape painter. And of course many others too. You have the Norwegian Norwegian paint. Was it Ferdinand Finne? Have you heard about him? Yeah, he painted all these strange landscape with some strange trees. I think he was a Stavanger artist from where I went to art school. I think was it Ferdinand Finne his name was? Huh? No, that is not the guy. Was it a different name? Was it? No, Ferdinand Finne. He's actually quite a.
I only find these type of paint.
Oh yeah, it wasn't him. It's newer.
His name.
He's from Stavanger. He painted strange trees all the time. What was his name again? One of Norway's finest.
Kunstner fra Stavanger som tegner trær. Skal jeg google det?
But it's so many, you know. But if I should pick one, I would say Turner. I want to learn how to paint a landscape. That is not, of course, totally photorealistic, because it's not a photorealist.
Like this?
Huh? Yes, there we have. What's his name again?
I don't know. I don't see. Hertwig.
Huh?
Lars Hertwig.
Lars Hertwig. Let me show it. Can I show it?
Is it for sånne terra?
Yeah.
Sånn.
Because he was a surrealist anyway. You see? Can you see?
Closer so they can see. Yeah.
Yes. You see? And he actually was a schizophrenic. And he was always criticized for this. But he was a kind of... He had a tree that he had as a basis for it, but he just kept... And he was obsessed with clouds. He couldn't stop. And Odd Nærdrum, the Norwegian artist Odd Nærdrum, has his clouds from him.
Okay.
Yes. So, you know, Odd Nærdrum has picked from everyone. He steals like crazy, you know. But he's also a good painter. So as the Norwegian author Kristian Valentino Landplage, så jeg sa, vet du. Nei. Arno Førland, the Norwegian author Arno Førland said, well, about that we shouldn't be afraid of being inspired and basically steal from others, as long as we really made it into something personal. Because every author, every artist in history has learned from someone. We have to learn from someone, okay? It's like this brushwork. I have learned this. I've looked at Rembrandt's painting, I've looked at a lot of classical painting, and then you realize that it's all about the brushwork, okay? And you have to kind of set yourself free from the motif and just be willing to not tinker with it in the beginning. You in the beginning, but you have to get it right. But you should let yourself go a little bit, okay? That you don't. But you also have to do this. You have to have foresight. So you have to have some experience. Like when you are painting, you kind of struggle with knowing exactly where you are going, or. But I guess it's getting better. You're starting to foresee better now, yeah. And that is the whole thing. I know why I put this down. I also know I can't reach this now because I can't get that much paint into it to build that light, because this light has to be basically built to make it feel 3D. Well, Is that really true? Because it actually looks quite 3D in the painting, no, in there. But when I paint it, it becomes even more 3D because I build these things, and that's why I call it the, you know, I always call it the Rembrandt effect. You know, when you use the background and you just push it all the time. You push the shapes and stuff. So yeah. Next. Blah blah blah. Push it.
There's some weird questions here.
Yeah, that's good. Weird.
And it's things like, how does your connection with nature influence your work? And do you think about environmental issues?
No, I don't think. I don't think about environmental issues at all. Actually, basically, it's not. It's not. You know, I have that is a part I have just given up, because when I see how people are using resources, where we produce, how much energy and how ridiculous it is to, well, maybe I think about the environment actually, but in a different way. It's lost, okay? Yeah, period. You only have to go into to a store and look how much plastic they wrap things in, or see how much charcoal China is using to produce the shit we don't need, and all this, and they keep yapping about the environment and blah blah. Nobody's doing anything, okay? And this is, as George Carlin said, nature created humans because nature wanted plastic and couldn't make it themselves. Okay? So when we are gone, there's gonna be, you know, plastic everywhere, because that is what nature wanted. The joke goes kind of that way, you know, trees, bees, everything, you know, we're fucked, you know, we are not going to stop until it's empty. We will change the way we behave the day there's no more oil left. All the plastic, 30% of the oil goes to producing plastic. 30%. And we don't need that fucking plastic, okay? But we produce it anyway. So, I guess I think about the environment. But when I hear people like that girl in what's her name again? That crazy girl, you know.
Greta.
Yeah, Greta Thunberg. Total narcissist, traumatized by her parents, narcissistic, probably severely autistic, or something. Nothing bad about the autism, because you know it doesn't make you bad, but she is just you know, and it's so ridiculous, because she was gonna go to the United States to some environmental thing, and she was against flying. And she got some people into a boat over the Atlantic. They almost got killed, drowned. And they used enormous amount of fuel in the boat and time. So I mean, she was just ridiculous because of her principles. And the father, which is basically an enabler, and the mother is also an enabler, they earn basically cred and money for it. So it's just crazy. And we are not going to stop using oil or pollute until it stops by itself, probably, because we won't stop consuming. So, do I think about the environment when I go? No, I don't, because there's nothing I can do. It doesn't matter if I don't pick up that plastic bag to carry things in, because it's not the fucking problem. Making straws from paper that dissolve when you're trying to... It's bullshit. It's vanity politics. So, no, I think I don't bother with it. It's too much bullshit. It's too many lies. It's too much vanity politics. I guess I think a lot about the environment, actually.
Yeah, while you paint, but the painting itself is not about.
No, it's
you
not
just
about.
Think about
It
all
is
the
about
stupidity.
It is about the beauty of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is about the beauty of nature or whatever. And if you have some plastic in there, it's not going to make it. I mean, a sunset will be a sunset even if there's a plastic bag on a beach, okay? So, probably some people will think I'm a horrible person for saying this, but so be it. You think some plastic bag's gonna make any difference? George Carlin, The Environment. Trees, bees. A bunch of bourgeois, upper class, also, you know. As I said, you know, the earth is in crisis. No. We are in crisis. The earth will shake us up like fleas. You know? And then go back to being nature. With plastic. With some plastic. Yeah, blah blah blah. Next.
How do you approach texture and colors in your landscape paintings?
Oh, yeah, okay. How do I... Yeah, the same as everything else. Basically just seeing, trying to repeat, and trying to build. To build this light, I add thick colors, basically like clay, as much as I can from the start. And then I start to, I let it dry, and then I start to paint over it, and I enhance this, add in more detail next time. If I have done some mistakes and it becomes, sometimes it actually becomes a little bit too much textures and brushwork, so I have to remove some because I didn't focus good enough from the start, because all the brushwork has to have address. You don't just build a lot of texture all over the painting, you know. I remember I was helping a guy to paint, and I told him you have to build more texture, and suddenly I built a lot of texture all over, and I said no, that wasn't what I meant. What I meant, you have to find where you need it, like I remember told you. You have to find what is closer, what is far away. How do I differentiate this from what will be in the background? How do I, you know, the water is very different from the dress. So I can't do the same thing in the water which I did in the dress. I have to paint it in a different way. I have to try to paint it as water is in a way. With some, of course, these lights you put in small, when I come that far, you put in some small lumps to bring out some points. if you squint on it, the photo, you see it is not as bright as here. Not even in the highest places here. It isn't as bright as there. So you can't go all the way to this brightness. You have to keep it down also. And you can do that by first painting it in and you glaze over it. And let the glaze push it down, which also Rembrandt did in the Night Watch, where he basically painted it and then he added he glazed in the shadow on top of what he had painted, so it actually seemed like the shadow actually hits the dress, because he hadn't basically painted it and he glazed it in. So the shadow actually hit, it is on top of everything else as it is. So yeah, but that is my approach, and maybe here I can do, and you can also go in and you can use this and you can kind of add in more. You just try to mold it from the start. You try to foresee how the different brushwork and stuff will act in the future. So like when I also need to think directions. The sea behind here is kind of this way, okay? It isn't that way, it is this way. Because if you do like this, these things, you know, you don't get, you have to paint the direction. Of course you will go in there to make the waves, and you maybe do like this, and then you go in there again and you add a little bit of, maybe a little bit of on top of that again, and then you do like this and you do like this, and you basically do the same thing that you do here, but you have to do it on a totally different level. Because you need some directions. You need down, and you need this way, and you need this way, and you need to kind of see. I'm not going to go all in photorealistic here, but I would actually like to take one of these photographs and make a big one where I went into every single, you know, totally got everything in, and that takes, damn, that takes focus, and that is when you start challenging yourself, when you really go deeper. It's quite easy to paint something that looks kind of looks difficult but aren't that difficult. It wasn't difficult for Rembrandt to paint was a Stoffel standing in the, you know, the girl that drags up that dress. You see his brushwork. He did it in a half an hour, the whole painting. Okay. No more. Maybe one or two layers. Maybe even just one. Okay. Difficult appears when you go further. When you know how to sketch, there's no problem making nice sketches. Actually, I used to be a better sketcher when I was, because I used more time on the sketches, because I wasn't, I had to be more careful with the sketches, and therefore they became a little bit more rigid. Now I basically know that if something is a little bit off, I can always fix it, you know, so I don't have to be that. And also I have my mirror, it's important, which I told you. Like this. Spinning hade gått en halvtimme. Nej. Wow. Yeah. So, yeah, it's starting to fall into place now. It's a lot of different things. Maybe the hand should actually be more. Yeah, I see that now. Oh, it should have gone the other way. It should have gone out. This one should have gone further out. And that's things you know, tricked. He tricked me. You bastard. Yeah, you have another question?
I was actually thinking, because we were at the National Museum, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, exactly. Huh?
And we saw some paintings there.
Yeah.
From, was it the 1800s or something?
Remember
and
that?
they and there were some paintings there where with outside with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And how did they make those?
Did
they make them from imagination?
No. They, I mean, I think they took photos, so black and white photos.
Oh, so they had photographs.
And I think they also used models. Maybe they even had people. But I think they actually took photos, black and white photos.
Yeah, because they look almost as a photorealistic.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah. So they knew how to paint skin. They knew how to paint different things. I know Christian Krogh, the Norwegian painter, with his big ones. He took actually photos and he painted in paint.
If
You should Google that.
Christian Krogh painted from
Yeah. Did Christian Krogh use photo? Yeah, maybe that's good. Good thing to ask. Ask. Budelfot. I don't really like to do it like I like to do it like this, but it's the first sketch anyway, so I can have some freedoms. Yeah. Did you figure it out?
Nej, jag har inte funnit det.
Did you write in, did Christian Krogh paint from photo? På norsk?
Yeah, both Norwegian and English, but
What about,
I don't find that.
What about Edvard Munch? Because they are so photographic, it's almost like they're taking photos and just... Remember, they used to use a technique back then where they actually painted skin color into photographs. So they had this recipe for how to actually make photos, basically what is it called? Colored photos, and they had this recipe for how to paint skin and stuff. If you see my great grandparents, there's a there's a photo in our older house, in my grandmother's house, which were hand colored. It was actually black and white, but it was hand colored.
Mm.
So, and that is basically from that time.
Mm.
So they used photos, and maybe they had some models, but they also knew how. It's like the Norwegian classical painters, which actually was in Germany and painting Norwegian landscapes in studios. They just went to Norway. They took some sketches, watercolor, and they painted, and they also took sketches of clouds. But they had, there were people who specialized in clouds. There were people who specialized in trees. Okay, so there was a different way of doing the work back then, and of course some could do everything. And of course, people like, how was Turner received? Could you actually Google that? How was William Turner received in his time? Because he was very poor, actually. When he died, in the end they went up to his attic, and there was water coming down from the roof, and his paintings were standing there rotting away. Because he wasn't, I don't think he was that popular when he was actually doing his best work. I think he was quite poor actually, and tranquil. So they saved his work, but his studio was totally falling apart. That's what I saw.
It says there he was strongly criticized in his time.
Turner?
Yeah.
And you saw what happened to Rembrandt when he started to use more brushwork. He fell out of favor, okay?
Mm.
And because you have to understand, to empathize with. Okay, yes, the point was to understand brushwork. You have to be able to empathize with it. You have to understand why. Why did he do it? Why? You have to recognize the subjectiveness of the painting. And back then, everything was about the motif. Okay, so if it wasn't up to or didn't resemble what was popular back then it was criticized. It's like now in a way. We have the same thing now. Today it's the opposite. If you try to do something with that is actually good, you get criticized because you shouldn't make beauty anymore, or try to make. You have to be conceptualist. You have your ideas matter more than the object. And that is why modern art, much of modern art is so crappy, because they went away from what actually started it all. Trying to make something good, something human, something lasting. Okay? You feel it? So yeah, it's modern art has basically destroyed poetry, because it's bourgeois, that it's looked at superficial to make something that actually has some substance. So it is in a way turned on its head. So, but every reaction has this opposite reaction. I guess it's just a reaction to centuries of more rigid laws. And when you then try to break down all the laws, you just break down everything. And now I think actually, now even with AI and AI art, and we are flooded with impressions, and you are flooded with AI art and it's so impressive and blah blah blah, but it is actually nothing, because there's no one actually making it. You just program the computer and then it's just start doing its stuff. And it can create an infinite amount of motifs or art or poetry or whatever in a heartbeat. So you're basically making, you would, if the goal is to create more, just more, for the sake of entertainment, human art is dead. Okay? It is just dead. We are not necessary. We are only necessary as consumers, because we are we are conscious. So, I mean, if AI makes art for other AIs, there's actually nobody's looking. It's like the universe. It creates a lot of shit, but we are, without the conscious brain actually seeing it, it is just creating stuff that nobody sees. And the AI will keep on making shit, but it doesn't really see what it's making. It's just making it. So it's like the universe. It just makes stuff by random chance, and then, yeah. So, in a way, there is no consciousness. So if you want to go there and you want to remove the human creativity from the arts, art is actually dead. It doesn't have any meaning anymore. It has to be done by a human being. It has to be done. You can say, well, the machines are made by humans. Yes. But it's like in Ukraine now, they are starting to make drones that doesn't need to be. You just have an AI, you send up the drone, you give it a command, seek out Russian soldiers and kill them. And that is what is happening now. So you don't even need a guy steering them anymore. And it's fucking scary. Because even war now isn't done by human beings anymore. Okay? So then the next war will first be AI against AI. Then when all the hardware is used up and blown to pieces, we will just pick up the guns and the human equipment. And then when it's done, we have, as Einstein said, the Third World War will in the end be waged with sticks and stones. Because when you have blown up everything, there won't be anything left to wage war with. So it's the same with art, you know, and that is why there will always be a niche. Many people will fall for this AI shit, like this. What is it called when they digitizing art? NFTs. I've got so many requests about that. It's probably just most of it is scams, but you can actually digitize your work, and people buy it for some weird reason. as a form of currency, and but it's not real art. It's not it's not real, for fuck's sake. It's just a concept. It's just an idea. It's nothing really there. What if technology breaks down? What if they blow up a nuclear bomb in the atmosphere, or even outside the atmosphere? You blow up some nuclear bombs, and all of that art will be gone, because it will destroy all hard drives and everything. So all the data is gone. So all this art is gone. Okay? That is one of the things that will happen if we ever have a nuclear war. Well, our computers won't work after that. Okay? They will just be, all the hard drives will be empty. So that is why I also, of course, are trying to bury information underground and in bunkers and stuff, to basically keep look what happened to that's a tragedy. All the knowledge that was burned by the church, and also the Muslims in the end, and everything. They had libraries, but they didn't have enough backup copies. So you lost all the information. And it's crazy. Well, anyway. So, do you have anything more? You wanna chat GPT want to ask me?
No.
No.
I think it would be wrong to make some more stupid ChatGPT questions first. No, we have. Yeah.
Maybe it's better to just ask questions or have a conversation about painting. Something. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna close it down for tonight. Cuddle a little bit. That would be nice. So.
Hello.
Oh. Yeah. There she is. It's a horrible light in here. Oh. Okay. Anyway. Okie dokie dokie. As usual, thank you for watching, and if you'd like to support my channel, you can do that by buying me a coffee. You can also go to my Patreon or sign up for one of the tiers there, and I will really do my best to help you how to paint and evolve your painting skills. If you would like to support my girlfriend Amalia, you can do that by following the link in description to her YouTube channel, and sign up and give thumbs up and watch her painting videos. She just started, so please help her out. She really deserves it. She's a good painter and a lovely girl. See you in the next video.